This is absolutely Essendon. It's our match review, round 13 against Carlton. We got it done, winning by 34 points in what was the biggest crowd for the round. Thank you very much. And we've just got to try very hard not to have smug face today. Can you do that?
No.
Yeah,
I'm trying.
You're going to struggle.
I am trying.
Now, that one's more lift face.
Oh, it's
Smug,
okay.
Yeah, you know, lift face.
No, I don't. Oh, that looks like you've done something naughty.
No, when you get in a lift, that's the face you do.
Oh, elevator face.
Elevator
Okay.
face. Yeah, sorry, elevator face.
Yeah.
All right, okay. Anyway,
all right,
enough
okay.
about it.
So we smashed them, and I think you picked it, right?
Well,
You were 2 points off.
Look, I was,
Yeah, brilliant
and
work.
you know, even a broken clock.
I tell you what,
right twice a day.
You know, I think gambling, you're a safe bet when you come and watch this show because we very rarely get it wrong.
Please read the PDF and gamble responsibly.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. On that note, can we just get straight into it? Because I thought that was a little odd. That on the jump at the start of the game, I looked at the odds and they were even. And
I saw that. Yeah.
So here you've got so the Smarties. This was their view. You've got Essendon, who've won 3 games in a row. Sure, fell over the line a couple of times.
Yeah.
Against sitting 6th against a side who's lost 7 out of the last 8.
And a complete basket case.
And they're saying this could go either way. I thought...
It was, what, $1.90 each?
It was $1.90 each, yeah. I thought that was a little ridiculous. And it's not often that they're just so off the mark.
Well, I reckon there'd be a few red faces down at Sportsbet this weekend, or whoever sets those markets, because, that was absolute stupidity at its greatest. However, it does play to the theme that we touched on in our preview about perhaps a lack of trust when it comes to Essendon. And that's something that's built over years, of course.
Everybody's still getting used to it.
They are. And I think,
being organised.
Deep down, I think we all knew we were going to cream those idiots. But there's still that nagging Ben Rutten kind of syndrome. There is.
And I will circle back to that later on, but I won't do that just now. But yes, a great win, but up to half time.
No, look, let's all jokes aside, let's be fair here. I thought the Blues were definitely the better side in the first half. And had it not been for their twin towers that came crashing down, what did they kick this time? 20 points between them or something?
Yeah, it was, Curnow didn't have a great night at the office.
Well, they haven't had a great year, have they? Really, if you're going to be honest about it.
He started okay, but
But putting that aside, their intensity, their effort in the first half was fantastic, and there was a period of time when I thought, well, we are really in for a dogfight here because they've come to play.
Yeah, we had to put up the special sign, didn't we?
There was a lot of signs being flashed from the interchange area.
Right.
I don't know what I couldn't decipher them, but
wasn't it? Yeah, it was a map of Texas.
There was no chips in or anything like that.
No, there was no chips. I thought it was Texas
Hold'em?
Tex-Mex. Oh, Texas Hold'em.
Hold'em?
As in Hold'em. Hold 'em up.
Slow it down.
Yeah,
maybe could be. I don't know. We'll have to speak to Gia about that. I think he comes up with the sign.
Oh, does he?
Yeah,
he's the sign guy.
He might be the man.
Right.
But yeah, look, Carlton were fantastic in that first half, and I feel for them. I really do, because their supporters, I mean, they are amongst the most feral people I've ever come across.
There was some footage after the game.
Yeah.
Boy, they unleashed.
All of you, take the jumper off. You're a disgrace. A fucking disgrace. All of you, take it off. Take the fucking jumper off. Piss off, Jack. Fuck off, Jack. You're a disgrace. A disgrace.
We've had times when our fans have gone a bit ugly, but
we've been there.
I've never seen anything like that.
I don't think it was ever that feral.
And there's one thing I think we can say for sure is that there's not an AFL player in the competition that doesn't try. Well, maybe Joe Danaher, but otherwise they don't go out there to work on their tans, right?
No.
They are trying.
No.
And I thought the way that the Carlton players were abused by their supporters, and after the game on Talkback Radio, I mean, it just continued.
Yeah.
Look, we've been there.
Yes. Oh, well, absolutely. In fact, arguably, we're having the season that they should have been having.
Yeah. If
Really.
you think back to last year.
Oh, my God. The roles just were reversed.
It really has, hasn't it?
It's just
Yeah,
been a 180 swing.
True. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what Michael Voss's future is with that club.
Yeah.
Again, they came out after the game. I think it was Luke Sayers guaranteeing that he would be coaching the team until the end of next season.
Why did they do that?
Wow, you know,
Everything's recorded these days.
when they said
Well, you
that about
can't-
Mick Malthouse, he was sacked 14 days later. So I don't know. Let's see how it plays out. But look, Michael Voss is a champion of this game.
Yeah.
He may not be the world's greatest coach, but no one deserves the abuse that he's getting and the players of that club are getting. And I for one, don't approve of that.
He's getting the blowtorch. But up to half time, and it was only really, we just got a couple of goals going into the first half, that really helped.
It swung the game.
Because otherwise, we probably would have gone in with a bit of doubt going, oh, geez.
And they would have gone in really pumped at half time. And those last 2 goals, you're absolutely correct. I can't remember. Was it Wright and
Wright
Menzies
got one of them. Maybe. May have been Menzies.
And it just put us back in front. I think we went, maybe 4 or 5 points. I can't remember the exact score, but it put us back in front.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, okay, good, because now I reckon we're going to come out firing in the third quarter.
Yeah.
And fire we did.
Yeah.
It was incredible to watch.
Yes.
And I think we got the rub of the green with the umps to a certain degree. Certainly on the numbers, I think 32 free kicks to 18 in our favour.
We did.
But
True. Very
the
true.
ball movement out of the centre suddenly came alive.
Some of the passages of play were just blistering.
They
blistering.
were. And we were not getting that movement in the first half. So what was exciting about that was that, if you recall, Merritt was shifted into the forward line.
Yeah.
He'd been tagged by
That's
Ed
right.
Curnow.
That's right.
Masterstroke.
Yes.
And Merritt became extremely influential in the forward line.
Yeah.
But it was the young boys, Hobbs, Caldwell and Perkins, who lined up at the centre bouncers. And in that third quarter, I think we had a fantastic glimpse into the future of this club because they were amazing.
Yeah.
Smashing them in the clearances this quarter. 8-1 now to the Bombers. Hobbs receives from Martin. Now to Caldwell. On to Guelphy. Time for a fumble. Back to Caldwell. On to Menzies. Bombers on fire!
And of course, capping it all off, the short-cropped redhead giant was back. And
2 metre
how
Peter.
good was that?
That was, I didn't expect that. I really didn't expect it. I thought he'd just come in, ease into it, maybe, fumble a couple of marks.
Yeah.
But we know his kicking for goal is good.
Well, a couple,
Well,
to be fair.
He did.
He was rusty.
Yeah,
And I'm not talking about his hair.
But that was so heartwarming.
Where do you think we'd be on the
So
ladder
heartwarming.
if we'd had 2 metre Peter playing with us all season? Or is that a ridiculous...
Third or fourth?
You think?
Yeah. Oh, I think so.
Because you'd imagine that a couple of those
Yeah.
close games, particularly the Port Adelaide
He'd
game...
have to be sitting on 45 goals,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So 45 goals, you apply that with, we had a couple of, against Anzac Day, as you said, Port Adelaide, maybe would not have helped against Geelong, but
To a power of 10?
Yeah, maybe.
All right.
Eh?
Okay,
Anyway.
well, I didn't expect the mathematical breakdown of it, but thanks for that anyway.
Sure.
Yeah, so Peter Wright back in the side. I mean, how good is that going into the bye, knowing we've got that weapon in our forward line now for the remainder of the year? And as we speak, we're sitting 6th on the ladder,
We are.
outside of the 4 on percentage only.
Yes.
We can dare to dream. I mean, we've been touching on that all season,
Yes.
but I really think that's becoming a reality very quickly. But the draw isn't perhaps as easy as
No,
what
it's
many
not.
people
All
are
this
saying.
talk of having an easy draw is just malarkey. I think it's going to be tough right to the end. I mean, especially the next few weeks. Having to go over to Western Australia. So so I'm not buying into any of that.
No,
whatsoever.
but I think we can buy into it with a little more confidence because what we saw against Carlton was a team reborn.
Yes.
And as we proceed through the second half of the season, there's the likelihood of Parrish, Setterfield, Shield to come back into the side.
Yeah.
So, that's going to be an incredible selection dilemma, isn't it, when
Like,
the time
you just
comes?
think, how is that all going to work?
Yeah.
How are those pieces all going to... all going to work together.
Look, I mean, it's great. That's what you want. You want a team with a bit of depth where they're fighting for their place in the side. And as long as the players are rewarded appropriately and are given opportunities when they've earned it, then there can be nothing wrong with that sort of selection pressure.
Yeah.
And I think the guys in the squad must recognise that and go, it's great because it's only going to make us a more successful team.
Yeah.
And that's what they're ultimately striving for is success. So
Yeah.
I really believe that the way it's going, we've got a lot to look forward to. And even if the draw is a little tricky going into the second half, I think we can confidently take that on and really, you know, I mean, to say top 4 is a bit ludicrous at this point in time, but it's not out of, you know, reach. I think that can be considered if we keep winning and doing what we're doing at the moment.
Yeah, well, I think Brad Scott said in his press conference that, you know, the mantra is system over personnel, and I got to say, I think it's I think it's working. It's proving to be effective. And the other thing that came out in one of the post game interviews, which I thought was interesting to me, was they're interviewing Nick Martin, who of course starred again.
Our favourite Macedonian.
We've gone on too long about him, but he just continues.
We've used up our Nick Martin cards for the year, haven't we?
I think so.
But you really can't ignore his performance.
No, you can't. But in the interview with Fox Footy after the match, the one thing that stood out to me, because they asked, you know, what's the difference between this year and last year? And the words were much simpler game plan.
I mean, he was trying to say B. Rutten. I think that's code for B. Rutten.
It's just so
lovely
annoying.
guy. I mean, don't get me wrong, beautiful man. But
beautiful,
horrible coach.
But like we just knew it. Like as fans, we just knew it that they didn't quite know. They were like that dog when it comes up to you and it's just tilting its head, like what? They just didn't quite know.
That's a look I used to get in nightclubs.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
That look. Can you do it again? Yeah, that's exactly it.
Was that when you're using one of your killer lines?
Oh, yeah, sure. They would just, anyway, sorry.
It was just, to just bring it full circle, to hear that comment, just to know that we knew it. We just knew it. Yeah. It just needed to be simplified. And so we seem to have that now. We have organisation, we have structure, and we have versatility.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it's only good news for the Bombers and Brad Scott. I like to talk about who deserves a statue out the front. Not quite yet.
It's going to be standing room only, these statues.
Yeah, you get a ticket. But you know what? If he can take this team to the promised land, boy, oh boy, I'll be breaking out the copper tools.
I'd say. I mean, we're going to do our mid-year review, but I'd say I'm feeling all right about it.
And
anyway,
it's not just what you see on field, and it's not what you hear from the players. It's the guys' presence in those press conferences.
Yeah.
And you know, I think you've mentioned this on a couple of occasions. You just soak it up. You don't want it to stop.
Yes.
Keep talking, Brad.
Yeah.
It's like the Sermon on the Mount.
Yeah, whereas previously it was just like, let's go watch this car crash.
You know, when Benny was out there, and no disrespect to Benny.
Yeah. And even John Worsfold.
Yeah,
just as bad.
It was like fingernails down a blackboard.
It's always, you had to hear about learnings.
Oh, God, learnings. Yeah.
Oh, used to
You had one job.
Yeah.
All right. But anyway, Brad Scott, you know, Sir Brad.
Yes.
I think, you know, he really...
Knighthood.
Just about.
Yeah.
I couldn't have more of a man bromance for that man right now.
Yeah.
I mean, the thought that keeps going through my mind was some of the other candidates that were being floated and how we could have even thought about those people.
Yeah.
No disrespect.
Yeah.
But, you know, we really landed a crack
No, we did. Because you know what he does? Even though he's just coming off a big win, and he knows it, he does that sort of...
Lays it down beautifully.
Yeah, he does we've got a lot of work to do face.
Let's just focus on what we can do.
Yeah, maybe, it was a fantastic
The further you look ahead,
win.
the more likely you're going to lose that focus.
That's right.
I mean, he says cliches in a manner that only Shakespeare could work. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
You just love it.
Exactly.
I think you wanted to talk about... I mean, because Martin was incredible.
Yes.
And I think Merritt, just a quick word on him. I know we talk about him every week.
We do.
But when he was moved to that forward line, which was really sacrificing his role as a response to the really hard tag he was getting from Ed Curnow, he only had 18 possessions for the game.
Yeah.
But his fantasy points for the game, if you believe in those things, was twice that of Cripper, who had 19 possessions.
Really?
So his effectiveness playing in that half-forward role, creative half-forward role, was really, really good.
Yeah.
Unsung heroes. I think there's a new segment that you want to talk
should
about.
Because, you know, we talk about, you know, the big names because one of the key differences to last year that we used to be mocked for was that pressure in the forward line. And so I just want to mention players like Schnelling,
Yeah.
Menzies, Guelphy.
Herr Schnelling.
They're just laying tackles, just applying pressure.
Does Guelphy get into the best Italians? Is that
Guelphy.
an Italian name, Guelphy? Did we consider him for the best Italians?
Shit, we didn't. But I don't know if is that an Italian name?
Could someone in the comments, of Italian heritage, or maybe Albanian,
clarify
I don't know.
his.
Let us know.
Yeah, please.
But Guelphy,
Yes,
go on.
yeah,
You were saying
indeed.
so. Schnelling,
Yes.
Signor Guelphy.
Guelphy, that's right. Menzies, just the pressure that they were putting in that forward line, keep that ball
Jai
down
Menzies'
there.
nose reminds
Yes.
me of Sean Denham's after the 93 premiership.
Oh, yeah.
And wasn't that appropriate?
Yeah,
We'll come
it
back
was.
to the unsung
Yes,
heroes, but
yes.
just maybe quickly on the 93 premiership.
Yes.
In the rooms after the game.
They were. It was great to see
Yeah.
all those faces. And, some of them...
Yeah, come on.
Some of them look
Have
like
changed
they could,
a little?
Some of them look like, if you haven't watched the video released by the football club, go
Yeah.
and do that.
Amazing video.
32-minute video, really
Brilliant
good.
watch.
Lot of great moments in
Send
it.
your
But,
girlfriend out shopping, whatever.
It was,
but watch
it was
that video.
great to see.
Yeah.
To see all the players, but Denham looks like he could run out.
Yeah,
He's,
Mark Mercury, mate. He's an Adonis, that guy.
no,
Seriously,
he
he is one handsome-looking man.
He is GQ.
Yeah, bronzed up too. Seriously,
all day.
He's
So
been at the Greek
they
Islands
were.
again.
But no James Hird. What do you make of that?
Hirdy, look, I think he was otherwise indisposed. Is that the word? Indisposed? He was not available. He was overseas doing business, which he's very successful at.
Right.
Very much regretted the
You
fact.
don't think there's anything to be read into that?
Nothing at all. Hirdy loves the club. He would have been there. And I think Bomber made his return to the club, which was also fantastic.
that was
for
nice.
that.
Yeah, that was
back
nice.
to the unsung
Okay.
guys.
Yes. Well, look, I think I mentioned them
I think
already.
4
And just-
goals between Schnelling,
That's right.
Guelphy, and
Menzies.
Menzies.
Yes.
And that's a pretty special effort. And I think Schnelling also had 6 tackles, 6
Yes.
high-pressure tackles
Yes.
in the forward line.
Yeah. No,
I don't
he's-
think Carlton laid a tackle for the game. I told you, they're soft.
Yeah, they were lacking in that department. But he did really, really well. And let's not forget the great Dyson Heppel.
So Dyson Heppel, he was fantastic
Yeah.
with his disposal efficiency. I think he had a 95% disposal efficiency off 23 disposals.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's doing his bit, and I'm really
Yeah.
pleased for him because at the beginning of the season, I mean, amongst others, we were also having a bit of a crack at the guy, and I think he's an automatic selection now.
Yeah.
There's no question about
Yeah.
that. So
Yeah.
really,
We
well
take
done.
that back.
Well done
Yes,
to Dyson.
thank you, Dyson.
Yeah.
Yes.
We won't thank him for his
No,
service.
we won't. But we
in
take-
the typical way, but we applaud him for his continuing service.
That's right.
Yeah.
And we acknowledge our
Yeah.
sentiment, which was maybe off the mark with our earlier video.
Was it you? I think it was
mainly you,
I
mate.
thought it
Yeah,
was you.
just to be
All right.
clear.
Well,
So, and did you notice though, in the midst of that third quarter onslaught by Essendon, Carlton brought up their own sign.
Yeah, it had like people running away.
Oh, that's what the fans did.
That was for the fans
Mate,
because
they
I
really
mean that
did.
was the super flood. Forget about Footscray's famous flooding techniques of the early 2000s.
Right.
This was a flood of proportions that I don't think we've seen since the Bible.
Those stands were looking pretty empty in the last
way
quarter.
they were charging out at from 3/4 time onwards, it was a stampede. It reminded me of a Who concert.
With the with the Essendon fans being very classy.
Of
about it.
course,
Sure.
Sorry you can't stay for a little bit longer,
Yes,
but
yeah.
it was wonderful to
Bad
have your
luck,
company.
baggers.
See you later, old chaps. We'll see.
Yes.
No, there was a lot of
Yeah.
you know what going
Yeah,
on.
okay.
And
Okay.
it was humiliating for those fans. I think they were the same ones that then ran around to the Carlton race to abuse their players as they came off the field. But they are the great deserters. The Carlton faithful. Well, I wouldn't call them faithful, really.
Essendon fans weren't doing that last year.
Not in the same numbers.
Right.
I mean, honestly, yes, of course. And I've been guilty of leaving 1 minute before the final siren.
Right.
Yep.
That's it.
Yep.
That's
But
you spitting
these
the dummy?
guys- yep, that's about as bad as it will get.
Right, okay.
But, you know, these Carlton supporters, they really should think about a different sport, honestly. Yeah.
You
Bot
think,
shade.
you think it's just pain ahead. All right. So we've covered that third quarter.
Are we going to wrap
onslaught.
this up, or shall we keep going?
We possibly should, because, again, we've failed miserably in our quest for a 6-minute instalment.
Well, yeah. What have we got coming up?
I think it's time for the mid-year Brad Scott report card. That's one.
Definitely, yeah.
I think we need to look at any trade rumours, trade talk, trade
There's a
whispers.
fair bit going on, and I think we'll definitely have a look at that mid-season because the talk is starting to rise now as we get towards the end of the year. More and more of these rumours will start to appear.
Yeah.
I think we also want to take a look at the squad and how they've performed in the first half of the season.
I think we want to do that. We want to look at the second half of this draw. Let's see really how easy really is this draw.
And we're going to do our favourite recipes show as well.
All right. Thank you very much again. Thank you for all the amazing comments. We really do appreciate it.
We do.
And we'll be back.
And even to those two Carlton boys who I doubt will come back after what happened to their team, thank you for your service.
Yeah, we do indeed.
Yeah.
We're going to be back sooner than you'd like. Thanks for watching.
See you later.
Bye for now.
Bye-bye.